Hello, lovelies. It's another episode of the Sacred and Profane podcast. I'm your favorite embodied goddess, Neftara Grace. What's up and welcome back. First things first, this podcast is for those of you who are 18 years of age or older and also emotionally mature enough to be triggered and sit in your discomfort for at least 45 minutes. Come on, get with it. If that is not you, by all means, please cease and desist listening at this very moment. That's it. Goodbye. Now, if you're still here, that means you are of age and emotional maturity. Both are required to continue on this ride. All right, y'all. Welcome. We are in December. Now, I'm on the timeline of the astrological year. So we're finishing up quarter 3. Quarter 4 starts in the sign of Capricorn because, of course, the year starts in what Aries? That's right. I'm in Aries talking to you. So you all know Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, but that is neither here nor there. Today, we're going to talk about whatever the hell I feel like talking about. Now, this is a first. Not really, but you guys know what it is. We're actually going to listen. I'm going to be honest with you. Can I be honest with you? I want to talk about sex, but y'all aren't ready for that yet. I want to talk about sex. I want to talk about masturbation, but I'm not. I don't think you ready. I don't think you ready. I don't think you ready for that. I don't think you ready. So we're not gonna do that. Not yet. Not yet. But soon. But not yet. All right. We might get into it next season. But right now, Pluto just moved into Aquarius, and it made a splish splash. Okay. Oh my God. So you're already feeling it, whether you realize it or not. That's what you're feeling out there. And hey, masks are being ripped the fuck off people's faces, okay? But as it should be, as it should be, as it should be. Y'all, the whole place smells like sage. The altar is lit. The ancestors are already laughing because they know what time it is. Y'all are essentially sitting in the living room with me, and we just gonna chop it up. I'm gonna do what I do, and y'all gonna listen in. How's that? All right, you're in for a treat. Many people want to listen. This isn't, man, this is not an exaggeration. I swear it's not an exaggeration. So many people literally want to sit in my living room with me and just listen to me talk. Like I promise you, that's what people want. If you ask people who know me, hey, you know her, you know Neftari, like yeah, okay. What's one thing you wish? Oh man, if I could just sit there and listen to her, I'm telling you, okay, that's what you're about to do though. I'm surrounded by cards, oracle cards, tarot cards. I got herbal tea. It's my own blend. I got my Soothing Nourish tea. If you know, you know. That's what's going down tonight. I'm gonna whip up a little apothecary blend over here. I'm gonna throw together some essential oils. Um, make a 2 for 1. I'm gonna make a blend tonight that's gonna hook up the nervous system. No. Tonight I'm doing. Oh yeah. Okay. Tonight I'm making a blend that's going to balance out the female hormonal system. Okay, as well as ease respiratory issues. Okay, y'all, I know, like, who would have put those two together? Who would have put wound care and lung care together? I don't know. A goddess like me, so I did. All right. So let's jump in, y'all. Tonight, my little girl read my cards for me. Look, it's her first time reading my cards for me. She's 8 years old. Listen, she's a moon maiden. So if you know what that is, awesome. If you don't, I'll tell you. Um, Listen, I don't believe in forcing children into a belief system. Okay, that's your first. There's your first trigger. I believe what I believe. My children are going to believe what they choose to believe. Okay, now you're right. They're going to grow up watching me. They're going to make their own assumptions and inferences based on what they see me doing. Yeah. But that doesn't mean they're going to do what I do. And it absolutely doesn't mean that I'm going to force them to, ask them to, or, otherwise influence them to. No. I mean, they are here on their own life path with their own life purpose, right? And their own process, the journey that their soul is here to take. And I'm a guardian. I'm a steward. I'm not their master. Okay. I'm not their master. So, to my son, he's 6, so he goes to bed at a certain time. and my 8-year-old daughter stays up a little bit later. That was one of her birthday gifts this year. She got to stay up 30 minutes later than her brother. Y'all, she thinks it is the shit. She gets to stay up late with mommy, okay? But you know, late be 8:30. But anyway, so tonight, she's like, I don't know what I want to do. I really want to watch something, and I'm having us take a break from watching. The month of November, we really took on like little shows together. I said, baby, we've been watching a lot of screen. It's been a lot of screen time. Well, no, no screen, no screen. So we went through what can we do? We can paint our nails. No, we could do this, that, and the other. And she said, no, it's going to take too long for my nails to dry. So right, so right. So then she goes, well, I want to read cards with you, the kind of cards you read for YouTube. I was like, okay, bet. And so I let her pick the decks. Y'all, so she's 8, right? So her hands can't really shuffle right, really well. And so I showed her how to shuffle the cards without being a freaking casino dealer, right? And she had to hang of that. And I told her, I said, the cards that are coming out because they'll pop out. They'll pop out face up, right? She said, okay. When I tell you she gave me the most accurate reading, y'all can't listen. Listen. I was proud. I was proud, okay? So she gave me a reading, and I said, well, leave the cards out because these good. Like, these are really good oracle cards, right? And listen, while I'm talking with you guys, I'm going to throw some tarot on top of the oracle that she laid out. And here's why. The cards that she pulled literally were a continuation of the tarot readings I've been doing in the morning for my YouTube channel, right? It's like, nah, this is what's actually happening. This is literally the energy. This is what it is. If an 8-year-old girl can pull it, this is the energy. Okay. Okay. This is what it is, all right? Now, listen, obviously, my child is gifted. Obviously, she comes from a lineage of, very psychic healers, and, she just flows with it. So she finishes my reading. I said, okay, baby, it's time for you to go to sleep. She says, okay, but I want to tell you something. I was like, okay, tell me. What you gotta say? She said, at night when I go to sleep, in my dreams, I go to magic school. Y'all, my whole heart. And she explained, it was so cute. She explained, she goes, now, I'm still in grade 1 in magic school. And right now, all I know how to do is blessing. I just know how to do blessings to keep people safe and to make things good. And I was like, oh, okay, you're learning about prayers and blessings, right? And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so I have blessings for this and blessings for that. And I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm learning. Yo, right? Right? I was like, oh my God. So I was like, oh, sweetheart, you're so great. So I lit up the mugwort smudge stick for her. I said, well, let me light this dream stick for you for your little magic school tonight. Um, but yes, that made me so proud. If y'all like, just so proud. Now, listen, I do not talk to my kids about like, hey, do this, do this. Like I said, I do, however, honor the ancestors in front of my children. That we do, okay? My kids have seen me. They know I have an altar. They know I read cards. They know what I do. If they ask questions, I tell them, okay? Um, but when my daughter was 5 years old, um, I was doing a ritual and I was talking to the moon. And the moon told me, she said, your daughter is one of mine. There's a certain point in this ritual where I'm going to ask you to get her and let me see her. I said, okay. And I finished my ritual, and sure enough, I got to the end, and Luna said, okay, go get the baby. So I went and got my daughter. She was asleep because, I was doing a full moon ritual outside, literally in the middle of the country. So I go and get her. She's asleep, and I'm holding her. And I just need to see her. So I held her in the moonlight. And then the moon said, okay, thank you. And I, went and put her back in bed, and that was it. The next year, like easily a full year later, my daughter came to me and said, hey, do you know the moon talks to me? Do you know I belong to the moon? And I just looked at her. I said, yeah, I know. I know. I know. So it's a beautiful thing to honor the ancestors and see the ancestors show up in the lives of my children. You know, my children will tell you they love their ancestors, they know about the ancestors, they know about their grandma, their granddad, like they know about my father who's passed away. Like they know we talk about our ancestors, we feed the ancestors on the holy days, like they know, right? They know what's up. So it's really, really, really special to have gotten this reading from my daughter. And again, while we chop it up, you're gonna hear me, you know, slinging some cards, and that's what's up over here. And I might speak a little bit to what's in these cards. As a matter of fact, I might speak a lot as to what's in these cards because there's something in these cards for all of us. I'm telling you, this Pluto in Aquarius. Listen, y'all. It's so funny because in some ways Pluto slid into Aquarius. It didn't explode. It slid in, but it slid in. I swear to God, like an Olympic diver. You heard what I'm saying? You seen an Olympic diver like? I mean, they hit the water and there's a splash, there's a splash, right? But it's a little. But let me tell you. Olympic divers are so precise that even though there's a splash and it's a small one, they still hit the water and go deep. That's Pluto and Aquarius. That's what the hell happened. Okay? And the ripple, don't the splash don't matter. The ripple is still big. You hear what I'm saying? The ripple is still big. So let me tell you, this Pluto and Aquarius done fucked up some relationships. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That's what keeps coming out in these readings. Because there's been some false people and fake ass dynamics, and that shit done got busted. Ugh. Okay? So I'll tell you the cards that are out here in case you care. The first was the Dreamscape Oracle. So we have the Octopus, the Selkie, and the Serpent out here. Octopus energy, Selkie energy. If you know what a Selkie is, you know. And Serpent energy. Okay? If you don't know what a Selkie is, the word is Selkie. Look it up. I'm not going to educate you on that at this time. You look up Selkie and make of it what you will. 3 goddesses came out. Now, my daughter definitely knows the goddesses, okay? She knows I'm a goddess, and she is really into ancient Egypt. I wonder why. But the 3 goddesses that came out tonight were Sekhmat, Yemoja, and Chel. My daughter loves Sekhmat. I mean, Sekhmet came out and my daughter was like, fan. She's like, oh my God, her. Oh my God, I love her. I love everything about her. And I can't talk about Sekhmet without crying because she saved my life. Sekhmet keep me straight. You know, Sekhmet, I don't know where I would be without Sekhmet. I just don't know. I don't want to know. That's not what I want to find out. So, you know, um, that's the energy that's out here. And then the archetype or the container for the reading was the artist. The artist. And I love seeing the archetype come out because it was just this reminder that we literally are all creating our life. Life is a canvas. And whenever we want to, if we don't like what's on the canvas, we can actually throw it out and get a blank canvas and start all over again. And Pluto in Aquarius is totally that energy. It's like, hey, let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. Okay? Heavy, heavy, heavy on the Kali energy out here. Woo! Ah! I'm just saying, just saying. Radical acceptance was the word of the day. And also there's this energy of like the fool, like this kind of Persephone from the underworld. Y'all funny. They said Inspector Gadget meets Inspector Gadget. But um almost like there's what you know, but there's what you don't know, and both are gonna save you. Okay? And Pluto and Aquarius. What you know is gonna save you, and what you don't know is gonna save you during the next 20 to 25 years. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Please, please, please understand what I'm saying. Nobody knows everything. Okay? And there are some things that you don't know that are really okay for you to not know. Okay? And there are some things that you don't know that you need to learn, and you need to learn quick, fast, in a hurry. Quick, fast, in a motherfucking hurry. Okay? And then there are some things that you do know that don't mean crap in this new season. I mean, it ain't gonna do you no good to know that. It's a waste of space in your brain. And there's some things that you know that are literally gonna save your life. The key is discernment. In every moment moving forward, you want to be deeply connected to what you know and what you don't know, and be able to discern which one is going to stand you in good stead as you progress, okay? All right, the card is calling to me as the serpent. So we can get some energy out here on the serpent. hmm Yeah. So what's coming out is like this feeling that walking away from something that no longer serves you is literally about to turn your life upside down in the best way possible. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know a better way. And like, is there another way of saying that? Mm, no, there's not. Yeah, it's almost like whatever situation you've been in is actually caused you to become, yeah, selfish, guarded with not just with your resources, but also with your energy. And so, walking away and healing is actually going to break that up for you. Let me get some on the selfie. Y'all shoot. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm, mm. Yeah. But whatever this is, you saw this coming. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And remember, these, like I said, the cards that my daughter pulled, this is the energy right now. Whether you're tapping into tarot, your guides, and this is not about one thing. This is about relationships at work, at a certain job. This is about relationships with certain romantic partners. This is about relationships with your family. This is about relationships with yourself. We talk about habits that you know no longer serve you, but you kind of been doing it anyway because you've been doing it so long. Yeah, it's not really that big of a deal. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Whether it's drinking soda or staying up late or not drinking enough water, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is a big deal. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Okay. All right. What about this octopus? Dun 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 dun. Yeah. Big change. Big change. But the big change that is coming is for the better. It's like, that one thing that you've been like really asking spirit for, like, oh, I just need this. I just need this. Oh my God, like what I've been praying for so long and it hasn't happened and I don't know why. I've done everything I know to do and that thing that's coming. But it's only coming because you walked away from the thing that wasn't serving you, right? Staying up late, smoking cigarettes, sex without a condom. Y'all know what I'm saying. That person that absolutely was not good for you. Yeah. They said all the right stuff at the right time. But there was always a question mark. One question mark is one question mark too many when it comes to a relationship, okay? As I sip my tea. Let me tell you guys, I used to work for some of the biggest names in corporate America. I'm telling you, big names. If I said them, you would know. You'd be like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah. So my 20s and 30s, I was Miss Corporate. Okay. And I'm telling you, those jobs were, ugh, I had jobs that people coveted. Let's put it like that. And for me, they were all question marks. They were all question marks. At the time, I was running from myself. I knew at 20 years old who I was and what I was, but I was not around anybody like me, okay? I was raised in a very Southern Christian home. And so I wasn't around mystics and psychics and mages and sages. I didn't know anybody like me, okay? And so I felt that I literally told God, I said, you made me a freak show. Like, why'd you do that? What'd you do that for? And so, for a very long time, for 20 years, I tried very, 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 very hard to fit in and be like other people, air quote, normal. Obviously, that didn't work. So at these really big corporations and these really great paying jobs, they were all question marks for me. They're question marks for me. One, I wasn't made for corporate America. I was literally made to be out in the woods hugging trees and listening to the wind talk. That's what I was made to do. So sitting in an office from 9 to 5 under fluorescent lights, I would get a migraine headache at 9 a.m. I get to the office at 8, 9 a.m., I got a migraine. Boom, that's my life, okay? But it pays so well. By the time I left corporate America, I had the, four sides brick home in the right zip code with the Mercedes, more than one in the driveway. Y'all know the story, y'all know the deal. I had all the designer this, all the designer that, everything was designer, designer, designer. I was married to someone who had the right job, six figures, and I'm talking with the a higher number as the first number, six figures. And the perfect credit score, I did that, okay? And when I left corporate America, I left uh, on medical leave, and it was psychological. When I left corporate America, I was taking 9 pills 3 times a day to manage anxiety, depression, etc., etc., etc. And if you know what I'm talking about, you understand. I had to take medicine in the morning to wake me up and medicine at night to put me to sleep. Okay. And uh, the man I was married to at the time, we moved. It was he and I and my beautiful stepdaughter. We moved from Atlanta proper, right, the right zip code in Atlanta, to a smaller home um, outside of Columbus, Georgia. I mean, we just got out of the city, and that was what I needed. And he, in hindsight, he'd say, and he has since passed, okay. But after we had moved at that time, to the country, he said, I was so worried about you because nobody out here carries Louis Vuitton. He's like, what are you gonna do? They're not gonna understand you. Um, but we got to the country and I got better. I was able to get off all of my medication. I talked to my therapist, I talked to my psychiatrist about it, and they're like, hey, nobody gets off of this medication. It's not possible. You're on it for the rest of your life. Because I was on some pretty strong meds. And I said, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Because by then I had sorted out and I listened carefully. Thanks to my therapist and my psychiatrist, I had sorted out that a big part of my behavioral health that I was dealing with, a big part of my mental health challenges were due to my environment. It was my environment. And I didn't have the words that I have now for what I was experiencing, okay? I just know I wasn't okay. I knew I needed help, and so I was taking medication, and that got me the support I needed until I could support myself, okay? So I want to say that out loud for people because I am a shaman and a medicine woman, but please know I went to school to be a doctor. I worked in a hospital. I have counseled others, and I have been counseled, okay? I have taken mental health medication, and I am telling you, there is a place and a space for things that support you until you can support yourself. No cap. Okay. So wherever you are in your own mental health journey, please take shame and throw it out the door. What matters is, are you getting the support you need until you can support yourself? That's all that matters, my love. Okay. So that's where I was. And when I got to the country, and I do mean in the country, I lived down a dirt road. I mean, let me tell you, I lived off a dirt road and my driveway was gravel. I'm telling you, I was in the country. Okay. It was like I had moved to a park. I remember looking at my window going, oh, I live in a park now, right? And that's why I said, I can get off my medication here. I just knew nature could help me get better. Long story short, it did. Nature therapy literally saved my ass. I mean, literally. Okay. And again, I had a therapist and psychiatrist kind of on either side of me, but I got off of all of that medication, the stuff that they say you're never supposed to get off of. I got off of it. Now, looking back, I can now tell you, well, I'm a shaman. So, getting on my path, getting out of environments that were draining me because I'm highly sensitive, like I'm hyper empathic. So working at these really high stress, low vibe places was actually killing me. Yeah, I have the language for that now, but I didn't then. Okay, so now I can tell you, well, of course, going out in nature saved me, duh. But I didn't know that then. All I knew then intuitively was being outside was going to heal me, and it absolutely did. So I'm bringing this up because something else has been coming up in my readings like every day is nature spirit, specifically the tree of life. The tree of life is in so many cultures, guys. It's not just in Christianity or Judaism. It's in Norse mythology. I mean, almost everybody got a tree of life. And this serpent card that's in this oracle spread in front of me is a serpent that's coiled up at the bottom of the tree of life. And I think this is really important. This serpent is actually representing those relationships or those connections, those cords that will choke the life out of you or a project or a relationship or a situation, right? Something that'll dig down to the roots and begin to eat away the roots of something that you've worked really hard to establish. And that's why in that situation, you've gotten more closed off. You've gotten more protective of yourself and your energy, and rightly so. That's also why as you walk away, things are going to open up and flow more freely again. Okay. All right. Like I said, y'all are just in the living room with me. We're chopping it up. So I know this is a different type of episode than what you're used to, but hey, it's what you signed up for when you said, I want a little sacred and profane in my life too. Okay. All right. Sekhmat keeps staring at me. I think she wants to say something. Sekhmat, what you want to say? Oh, you want a crystal card. Sekhmat wants me to use a crystal card. Ooh. You guys, usually when I do these episodes for you, it's just straight channeling, right? So this is very, very different for me to be surrounded by all these cards. I'm not even going to tell you anything other than that, but just go with this is clearly divine. We do have new moon in Sagittarius energy out here. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, very expansive energy, spiritual knowledge in particular. So let's just go with that. There's something that the divine wants you to hear. It's going to be a lot of different messages, as you can tell, kind of in one place. But I believe something for everybody. We got three goddesses out here. We got ancient Egypt. We got Yoruba, Nigeria, Africa here. We got Chel from the Mayan pantheon here. We've got artistry. The supreme artist is the creator, right? The supreme artist. But we're all little creators. We're all little artists out here too. All right, Sekhmat, what's this crystal you want us to vibe with? We'll vibe with the crystal. It popped out. Celestite, of course, for knowing. Of course, Sekhmat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, so if you are not familiar with celestite, I have a piece. Actually, the piece I have is in the shape of a dragon head. I kid you not. You know what? I'm thinking about having this podcast be video. I'm not going to do it yet. I'm thinking about it. But if so, then you can see all my cool little crystals, maybe. I don't know. I got a lot of crystals. I might not show them off. I don't know. I always want more though. So celestite is the crystal of knowing. And the affirmation for this crystal is I know, trust, and serve the divine plan. I know, trust, and serve the divine plan. I know, trust, and serve the divine plan. It says celestite has a strong relationship with calcite. And what's so great is calcite is in the bottom of the deck that the celestite just flew out of. So, and I saw it and it caught my eye because when my daughter started her reading, she pulled clear calcite for herself. So this is just too great. Um, Celestite is a highly spiritual mineral. When trust in self has been worn down and lowered, Celestite attunes us to the spiritual highest aspects of self and its undercurrent that runs through life. This results in the symptoms of knowing, powerful trust, wise understanding, powerful peace, heavenly harmony, and unwavering calm. Mm. Your trust in self is being tested. You're being asked to stand in your wisdom and power with love as the answer and guide. Whatever issues you're currently involved in, remember, when you truly know you are right, the world doesn't need to know why or how. Entering into such spaces simply shows you don't trust yourself. The path of true knowing is often one of patience, silence, and love. Think and know before you act or speak. You have entered a very spiritual phase in life. Draw yourself inward with acceptance of all around you. It is all valid and has purpose. Ride the waves of life. Often divinity is hidden in the physical world, but with trust and knowing as your guide, all will be revealed. Celestite also presents to us when we must listen more carefully in the world. Mm, yeah, for real, for real. Mm, mm. One of the key words for this card is let go and let God. Let go and let God. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So Celestite is very powerful at the throat, heart, and solar plexus chakras. The animal totem is the blue whale, and the essential oil is petitgrain. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Sekhmat. That's very, very powerful. Knowing. Mm, yeah, I really feel like that is what's at the core of what's happening right now. There's so much happening in the world, but I don't feel like there's anything happening that's unexpected. I feel like listen, if you're listening to this podcast, you are a part of my collective. Okay. Now I know who I am, so I know a little bit about who you must be. Okay. And who you must be is someone who believes in divine plan. You believe in divine timing. You really do, or you just wouldn't be listening. I promise you that. Okay. Um, so whatever your situation is, like the card said, and again, for each one of you it's a little bit different. For some of you, it's a romantic relationship. For some of you, it's a friendship. For some of you, it's a boss at work. Interesting. I heard situationship, whatever that's about. Maybe you have a situationship with your boss. I don't know. Take it how that resonates for you. None of my business. Um, but whatever it is, you're walking away because you know who you are. You know what's right. And this is a big deal. This is a big change for you. It's not a small thing. This isn't something that you're doing flippantly. This is actually something you've put energy into. You've actually been actively manifesting something and finally got to the point where you can see, hey, you know what? I actually have to let something go to receive what I want. It's time to prioritize and get things done. Patience and intellect lead you to success. That's what the octopus is saying. That's what the octopus is saying. And the Tower card came out on top of the octopus. This is a big change. It's a really big change coming in. The other thing that's really pertinent here is the moon. Allowing yourself to phase and flow with the cycles of the moon. Cycles, very, very, very important. We're all in different timelines. Let's keep it simple. When I say timelines, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to keep it right here in the 3D, okay? I'm not going to take you too far. Not yet, not yet. You're new. Don't worry. We've got the astrological timeline where the new year starts in Aries, okay? You've got the Gregorian timeline where the new year starts in January. You've got the lunar timeline, which is, the Chinese New Year, which, let me tell you, whichever timeline you're on, you want to figure it out. I do believe that. And the way you do that is you look at the cycles in your life. When do you tend to energetically wake up, spring up, have vibrancy in life? When do you tend to energetically want to rest and get quiet and still? When do you tend to energetically see your manifestations come in? This will give you clues as to the cycles of your path and the timeline that you're on, and really help you to honor yourself and know yourself deeper. Okay. Remember, there's some things you know, it don't mean shit, not in this new season, but there's some things you know that's going to save your butt. There's some things you don't know. Thank God you don't know it. Okay. Because let me tell you, it ain't worth knowing. And there's some things that you don't know that you really need to learn, and I do mean as quickly as possible. What timeline you're on is one of them. You need to know your timeline. You need to know your cycles, okay? Your cycles, not the cycles of the people around you, okay? Uh, my year begins on the spring equinox. It just does. It's always been that way, but like most of you, I grew up with Western pedagogy, and I would be so confused when they say Happy New Year in January. I just felt so off to me. I'm like, but it's not a new year yet. I was just so confused. I mean, I clink the glass and drink the champagne, don't get me wrong. I love Prosecco any time of year. It just didn't make sense inside. And I knew, I was like, no, spring equinox, ha ha ha, now it's spring. And I'm in Aries. No, 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 the year starts in Aries. Like, I knew that. But one day I said, wait, what? No, hold on. The year starts in Aries. Oh my God, that's why January wasn't, I just couldn't make it a new year. And look, the lunar year, listen, I am not Chinese, but on that Lunar New Year, I would love it if y'all gave me red envelopes full of money. I will be Chinese. I will be Chinese on that day. I will eat mooncakes with you. Do you understand? I'm with you. Okay? If you know, you know. But that's not me. That's not me. Now, I know that I'm a monkey in the Chinese zodiac. I always know what year we're in. I do pay attention. I feng shui my home. Don't get it twisted. Feng shui. Okay? Um, but that's not my timeline. That's not my timeline. My timeline is the astrological timeline. Hmm? So come March 21st, y'all, I'm ready to party. I'm loud as hell. Like literally like, I'm like a rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo, I'm here, right? And then I can hear you guys laughing. And then in the summertime, for real, I'm like, oh my God, it's so hot. I have to go sit by the pool every day because that's what I have to do. And then in the fall, I'm like, ooh, it's time to gather. It's time to gather my harvest and thank the ancestors for all they've done. And when Capricorn seasons hit, baby, I'm ready to go to sleep. And don't wake me up until March 21st. I mean that. I mean that. Now, for me, because that's my timeline, when March 21st hits, I'm out the gate like a rocket. See, that whole winter time when I was inside, quiet, and nobody knew what I was doing, I was planning. I was strategizing. I was using that Capricorn, Aquarian, Piscean energy to visualize, to create, to structure. When Aries hits, homie, we getting it done. I mean, every single day. March, April, May. Action, 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 action. People like, Hope, you gotta slow down. Hold up. No. Slow down for what? Slow down for what? Slow down for who? You? No, get out the way. Uh-uh. See, I just sat for 3 months, hibernating, percolating on all this. Come spring, boom, baby, we about to bust out. We gonna pop out with this right here. That's why when June come, when Cancer season hit, yo, I'm ready to hit that water. I'm in the pool. I'm telling you, I work on my tan. Y'all laughing? It's for real though. That's it. I've already done my work. You understand? I did my work. I worked. I work all spring. I've noticed this about myself. I notice my cycles. I'm asking you to notice your cycles too. Now, other people have noticed my cycles too. I'm gonna let you know a little bit. Other people's noticed my cycles too. They say, "Oh, look at what she's doing." Okay, 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 okay. but they're judging it. And there have been some people watching my cycles to try to figure out how can they steal my harvest because they don't want to do the work themselves. Listen, the only reason a teeth comes, and I mean a spiritual teeth, do you understand what I'm saying? A spiritual teeth. The only reason a spiritual teeth come into your life is because they have no connection with the divine themselves, you see. They're not venerating their own ancestors. They're getting their own clear answers, you understand? So they watch somebody like me or you, if you're in my collective, and they go, okay, see, they working hard on something. I think I can. Now, can I copy and paste that? Because it looked good. Looked like well, I wonder if I put some shells in my hair and I wear some beads on my waist. Oh, okay. Okay, I can read cards too. I know how to read cards because I can read. Y'all laughing, but that's all they do. They look, they copy, they try to steal the harvest that's meant for you. But here's the thing, energy don't lie. See, when the universe is the one passing out the paycheck, when the universe is the one passing out the harvest, the universe knows who worked for it or not. You understand what I'm saying? Your harvest has your name on it. My harvest has my name on it. Ain't nobody gonna be able to take your harvest except if you give it to them. I'm gonna drop some free game on y'all. Except if you give it to them. Now I hear you thinking, Neff, why would I give somebody my harvest that I worked hard for? That's so silly. I know, but baby, we do it without knowing what we're doing. When you allow people who don't serve your highest purpose, who don't have your best in mind, when you allow people who do nothing but disempower you, discourage you, cut you down, who literally diminish you every chance they get to be in your energy, baby, they're stealing your harvest. That's what's happening. They're stealing your harvest. They're siphoning off your energy. They're leaving you defensive and closed off. So when harvest time comes around, you sitting there with your arms folded with a stink ass look on your face, and they're like, "I'm ready," because now they have energy. See, they took it from you. They siphoned your energy, and now they're covering your energy signature. See what I'm saying? Because they siphoned your energy, and then they go stand in the front of the line with their arms open, like, "Okay, I'm ready. Universe, bless me." And y'all want to know how come these people who ain't doing shit, ain't about shit, and ain't shit, how come they got this, that, and the other? Because they stole it. They stole it. They stole it. They stole that. No, you right. They ain't got no connection. They don't even deserve it, but they stole it. They stole it fair and square. They sure did. And I don't know if you can call it stealing when people give it up so willingly. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this, right? Because it's time for us to go ahead and go. But y'all need to keep cutting people out your energy. Don't stop. Don't stop. I can see right here in these cards, you know, already let something go. Keep going. Keep letting stuff go. Keep letting go and letting God. Let your ancestors tell you who worked it and who not. Make, make, make your guides vet the people around you. Talk to your team tonight. Your ancestors, spirit guides, angels, whoever your people is. Confirmation over there. Be like, hey, so and so. Vet them at the door. Vet them at the door. Find out what timeline you're on. Understand the cycles and seasons you running, how you phased in your life, my baby love. And don't let nobody steal your harvest, y'all. I don't care how good they talk. I don't care how good they look. If it's a question mark, it's a no. Okay? It's that simple. It's a no. It's just point blank period. No. You ain't got to question that shit. One question mark is one question mark to me. Don't let nobody up in your energy that's going to steal your harvest. And you can discern the difference. I promise you, you can discern the difference. I believe in you. You should believe in you too. Peace.